And you know what's the best part? Right next to it, it says that the Jew has to put the feeling on his brain and on his heart every day. Right next to it. In the same divine book, it's not two different gods. Same one who gave us a divine book with all this knowledge, same one told us in the Torah, Banim atem laHashem Elokechem. You, the Jews, are my only children. I chose you from all the nations to be mine, because I loved your father Abraham, Yitzchak and Yaakov. Do me a favor, don't behave like the Gentiles. Why? The Gentiles made so many despicable things in front of me that I got sick and tired of them. If you don't believe me, it's right inside the text. את כל התועבות האלה עשו הגויים האלה ועקוץ בם. Cats in Hebrew mean end. I had it with them. When you ask a Christian priest, how do we know that your book is really the book of God? His answer would be, check. If you don't believe, check. We have to believe, son. We have to believe. But I don't want to believe, I want to know. Things that are spiritual cannot be proven. It's a matter of faith. It's a matter of emunah. We have to believe, and they were born with belief and they die with belief. That belief never turn into a fact. It's a matter of you want to believe, believe. You don't want to believe, there's no way to prove anyway. Same thing in Islam, there's no way to prove. Why? It's a story of one man. He did not bring any witnesses. Nobody know if it really happened or not. Same thing Mary. One day she had a dream. She claimed God came to her and made her pregnant. How many witnesses saw that God came to her while she was sleeping? Not even one. Of course, there's no way to prove a dream. And when Muhammad showed up from the desert, as the Quran say, he came by himself. So nobody ever saw it. And when Buddha came 2,400 years ago and he claimed he saw the light, how many people witnessed that? Nobody, because it was only his story. And all these courts were starting with the story of one man. Nobody can back it up. It's a matter of fact. But in Judaism is the total opposite. It's not a matter of faith. It's something that if you check for 1 hour the details, you know 1,000,000% God really gave it. And that changed all the rules. Having a book in my hand that it's a 50-50. Maybe God gave it, maybe not. It's a big dilemma. Would I live 70, 80 years according to these rules and then one day I die and I find it was all baloney? Nothing, it's not from God. Or if the book, I know 100% is the book of God, that's a different story. Now I'm willing to sacrifice. Let's talk a little bit about Christianity. In the Torah it says that Jacob went to Egypt with 70 people. In the New Testament it says that Jacob went to Egypt with 75 people. What happened to God? He forgot? There were 70. Now they claim it's the New Testament. It's a continuation of the Torah. Part 1, part 2 from the same God. In part 1 it says 70. Part 2 all of a sudden God forgot. It's 75. It says in the Torah that Abraham bought Me'arat HaMachpelah, that it's in the city of Hebron, from Ephron Achiti. There was a guy, his name was Ephron. And New Testament, all of a sudden, they says that they bought it from Shechem, from son of Hamor in Shechem, Nablus. They say that Me'arat HaMachpelah, it's not in Hebron, it's in Nablus. What happened to God? He doesn't know where Me'arat HaMachpelah of Abraham, Yitzchak and Yaakov is? The only book who kept originally as it is the Torah. 80,000 religions and cults, they cannot point which book is the original one that they received, because they have so many different versions. How many different New Testaments are in the world? You know, more than 150,000. Each one is different than the other. Over the generations they were copying, they make mistakes. 150,000 different texts. Quran, hundreds of texts. Torah, one Torah all over the world. The Ashkenaz Jews, the Yemenite Jews, the Syrian Jews, the Persian Jews, they all gathered in Israel 100 years ago, 8 years ago. They opened up the Torah, same Torah. 304,805. When all nations were after the Jews to destroy them and to destroy their Torah. It bothered the Goyim that the Jews have this divine book, and they did everything they can to forbid the Jews from learning Torah. The Romans, the Babylonians, the Philistines, Amalek, who knows, Rome, everyone. The Jews are here, all of them are gone, and the religion has thousands of different books or hundreds of thousands of different books, but the Torah, the same one. Without internet, without telephone to verify. The Yemenite Jew came to Yemen, to Israel, opened the Torah, same Bereshit bara Elokim. Persian Jew came from Tehran, opened, same thing. Polish Jew came from Poland, opened, same thing. Mezuzah, same thing. Tefillin, do you ever see tefillin that is not black? Did you ever see Brit Milah that they cut a different part in the body? Imagine. Rabbi, we have different opinions what Brit Milah is. Why? The truth is always the truth. The truth of God is the same from the beginning of the world until the last day in this world. It will never change. I had a famous debate, it's on YouTube and also on the website. 3 hours slashing the New Testament to pieces. That by the end of the debate, the Christian priest say, you put me in a hole, I don't know, I'm gonna get myself out of there. That's how successful he was. Why? Every page full of mistakes. He didn't know where he couldn't finish. I shot hundreds of mistakes, one after the other. His head started to spin. How is it possible that there are 25 mistakes in a book that claim to be from God? It's impossible that God made mistake in a text. We conclude that. Question number 2, if Jesus is the Son of God, who needs to waste time to prove from King David all the way to Joseph when we say Joseph is not the father? Third question, please explain me, how do you have more than 150,000 different versions to the New Testament? Please explain me how there are more than 150,000 different texts. Okay, that's question number 3. Question number 4, please tell me, how is it possible that in the New Testament it says that Jacob went to Egypt with 75 people when everybody agreed that the Torah say that Jacob went to Egypt with only 70 people? That's what happened. Why? Not because he's a fool. He's a professor for Christianity in Manhattan University for Christian Studies for 31 years. They chose the expert in New York to bring him to the debate. And what happened in the end? I told him, I just proved to you that your religion is false. So he didn't say no. He said, but my heart doesn't let me live it. I said, heart is nothing. The Muslim also think by his heart. Heart doesn't show the truth. Heart is heart, it's feelings. The truth sometimes is exactly the opposite of that. If it's divine, there cannot be mistakes. The rest of the book can be marvelous, beautiful. Copy from the Old Testament, copy from here, copy from there, opinions, beautiful stories, miracles, happened, didn't happen. We don't even want to waste time of challenging the miracles. That's not even the issue here. Because I told you, and Jesus himself admit that making miracles is not an indication of anything. The conclusion that I'm trying to make to Danny and his friend right here is very simple. Divine has to be perfect. One mistake, not 50, not 500. One mistake, one contradiction in a text, 25 mistakes in a descendants, the caveats in Shechem, 75 people went with Jacob to Egypt, and so forth and so on. The list is huge. I cannot go blinded after my feelings. Feelings means nothing. A lot of people, because of their feelings, they're in jail, they are killed already, their families are broken. The Judaism did not educate to go by your heart, by your feelings.